Everybody, welcome. I'm glad you're here. I'm Dr. Andrea Christian Parks, and welcome to the Hunger Awareness Challenge. Now, if you're here, it's because you've been invited and you have figured out that responding to hunger and fullness isn't quite as easy as you would think. You think it would be just natural and obvious, but it's not always. And mostly because we've learned over years and years to ignore our natural, God-given hunger signals. So this challenge is going to help us get in touch with that, help us work through the reasons why we eat for things that have nothing to do with hunger, and get us more focused, more refined into eating according to God's design. So let's get started. Why would we only respond to true physical hunger? I want to just answer that question first, because number one, there is no point in doing any set of skills without a why. You've got to have a good reason. So yes, we have talked many times in the channel about how God has designed our bodies to function best the way He knows how, and the signals He's put in our bodies for hunger and for fullness to guide our eating are critical, that we stay within those bounds of hunger and fullness, and that we don't veer off eating for random emotional or otherwise reasons, that we really stay focused on responding to the way He's designed our bodies to function. But what happens if we don't respond to hunger as the true signal for when we should eat? We just eat because we want to eat. We eat because we need something. We want comfort. There's lots of reasons that we eat. Then what happens? Well, we fuel our body when it doesn't need fuel. That's the simple answer. And what happens when you try to put fuel in a tank that's already full? Well, you've got to store that fuel somewhere. You could never do that with your car. You'd have to actually get another container and put gasoline in it aside to have extra fuel for your car. When the tank is full in the car, the tank is full. But when you overfeed the body, you store that fuel as fat. So if we want to lose weight, if we want to get our bodies functioning at the right weight for our lifestyle, activity level, height, all that kind of thing, then we have to eat according to what our body needs only. And if we're not trying to gain weight, then we don't want to eat for reasons that have nothing to do with hunger. So let's talk about the difference between physical hunger and emotional hunger. Physical hunger is an actual physical sensation. It is a gnawing, nagging, pulling feeling right under the left rib cage, right where your stomach is located. And when you feel that signal, you feel that pulling, that slight discomfort, then you know your body is calling for food. If you feel something else, you feel a burning in your chest, it's probably heartburn. If you feel grumbling in your lower tummy, that's probably digestion happening from a previous meal. Those generally aren't hunger. Couple of things to know. Hunger comes in waves. So initially, when you get this little sensation of maybe I'm a little hungry, it's quiet, it's subtle, and it can be ignored. If you're busy, you've probably bypassed this level of hunger many, many times because you're working, you're on a meeting, you're whatever. Now, if you ignore it 10, 20, 30 minutes, 45 minutes later, it will come back. And it comes back a little louder the next time. And if you ignore it, same thing. It will keep coming back until it's pretty loud. That's physical hunger. Now, emotional hunger is very different. Emotional hunger is instant, loud, fast. It's what you would probably call a craving. It's this, I need that right now. And almost always, emotional hunger doesn't ask for anything that's good for you. It doesn't ask for broccoli. It doesn't ask for a salad. It asks for cookies, chips, candy, soda, something that gives you a super quick burst of energy and satisfies that craving. So another way to think about hunger is along a scale. So I want you to imagine, for my numbers people, a hunger scale. The middle is 0. And then you've got your negative numbers, and that's hunger. And you've got your positive numbers, and that's full. And for this, we're just going to talk about the negative numbers. 0 is a very comfortable, I'm not hungry, I'm not full, I'm not worried about food at all feeling. The minus numbers are where you start to feel those waves of hunger. A -1 is the initial point where you might feel a little, I might be hungry. I don't know. And sometimes you're not sure and you just keep doing what you're doing. A -2 is, well, I think I'm hungry. I could eat. Don't fall into the trap. If it's, I could eat, don't eat. You're not really hungry. You're just a little empty. Not really. When you -3, you're a little more clear. I think I'm in a meeting. It's busy. I think I'm going to have to, in my next break, it's probably going to be time to eat. A -4 is crystal clear. You're like, yep, I'm hungry. I'm ready to eat. Time to put some food in the tank. But it's not miserable. It's not, oh my gosh, I'm so hungry. I'm starving. Not that kind of hunger. You didn't wait too long. You're not miserable. I could eat a cardboard box. I'm so hungry. Not that kind of hungry. Just, I could eat. It doesn't really matter. I could eat spaghetti. I could eat salad. I could eat sandwich, whatever. Something needs to fill this emptiness. I'm hungry. -4 is what you're going for. You want to be truly physically clear that you are hungry and you need fuel. It's not a really big important thing about what kind of fuel. You just want food. It's not really, I want treats. I want snacks. It's time to have a meal, like real food. So if you feel that, you can be pretty clear that is hunger. Now, scripture for today. I want you to think about hunger and finding hunger, physical hunger, as a spiritual discipline. So we're going to look at Proverbs 16, verse 32. And it says, better a patient man than a warrior, a man who controls his temper than one who takes a city. So this is about self-control, about focusing our efforts and our energy at controlling ourselves, not responding to the emotional triggers for eating, but responding to the signals God has given us in our bodies and making our bodies obey what we are instructed to do. So, practicals for today. One, I'm going to give you two options, bare minimum and then the level up. Bare minimum. Practical for today is I want you to just pay attention. Just every time you get ready to grab something and put it in your mouth, I want you to ask yourself, am I physically hungry? Am I hungry for food? Or is something emotional happening that's prompting me to go put something in my mouth to distract myself from whatever that discomfort is? Whatever feels uncomfortable, is that what I'm putting food in my mouth to solve? Okay. Then at a bare minimum, I want you to just make a mark either on a piece of paper or mark it in your notes app in your phone, something that says, this is how many times I was physically hungry today. Because most of the time people are eating many more times than they're actually physically hungry. So I want you to try to tune in, notice when you physically are hungry and when you're just reaching for food and you're not physically hungry. It's eye-opening. Don't miss that. The level up, I want you to do a couple other things. And if you're doing the bare minimum, that's okay. I also want you to do at least two of these things. Number one, subscribe. Make sure you're not missing the rest of this series. That's number one. Number two, I want you to comment below what things are triggering you to eat emotionally. What kind of discomforts, what kind of stress, what kind of family situations, what kind of work challenges, whatever it is that makes you go, I need some chips. I want a cookie. Whatever it is, comment below. And for those of you who are ready to do just a little more level up work, I want you to go ahead and download the workbook, the actual hunger journal that we've designed for this exact exercise. So just download it. You can fill it. You don't have to print it or anything like that, but it is yours and it will help you get this work done more successfully. I'll see you for the next one.